The law of the inner circle states that a leader's potential is determined by the people closest to them, as the quality of one's inner circle influences their success and their effectiveness. Welcome back to Treasured Monologues. In you has a purpose, and so do you. I'm going to tweak some words in this law. It is one of the laws of the 21 Irrefutable Laws of a Leader by John C. Maxwell. So I'll say, the law of the inner circle states that a person's potential is determined by the people closest to them, as the quality of their inner circle influences their success, their effectiveness, their lifestyle, and their purpose. When we were in school, we used to have leadership classes, and for a long time, we were reviewing the 21 Irrefutable Laws of a Leader over and over and over again. I remember some of the laws like the back of my hand. But you see, the law of the inner circle was one of the laws that stuck in my mind to the point that it is so fresh. I carried it. I carried it in my mind and in my life, even way after I left school. So we were young students in our leadership class, and that day our class activity was to write out the people in our inner circle. And I think they said who your friends are, or the people in your inner circle will determine your next 5 years. And I remember asking myself, who are the people in my inner circle? When I think about my friends, who are the top 5 people? And I was like, okay. And I mean, up to date, I love that class activity, because when they say, if I ask you who are your friends or who is your inner circle, you will think of it as one whole thing. But if I say write out 5 people in your inner circle, you begin to think of them one by one. So number 1, Inyu. You say, that means Inyu's lifestyle influences my success and my effectiveness. Or my potential is determined by Inyu. Really? Then you go to the next person, Chisom. And then you begin to ask yourself, wait. Why am I even friends with this person? I mean, you might have met them and then you guys hit it off. It was such an amazing day. And you guys were talking like you've known each other for years, and then next thing they're in your inner circle. I'm not saying things like that are bad, but I have my reservations based on experience. So who are your friends and how do they influence you? Of course, your friends will always influence you. The ratio can be very irregular. You might be influencing them more, but trust me, everybody who is close to you, everybody in your inner circle would always influence you. You know why this is very important in life? I think that when we think about life in general, or when we think about purpose, we are always so lenient. And the reason why I love purpose is that you can equate it to almost every single thing you do. So if you think about school, most times you would want to work with people who are the best in the class, people who understand what is being taught. Because you know that there's a high chance that if you move with them, it would influence your academic success. And even if you don't want to move with the most intelligent in the class, you definitely would not want to move with the most unserious in class. That is not going to be an automatic choice. I mean, there's people that have personal choices like that, but they know what they're saying that will make them make that kind of decision. Okay, let's move to work. When you're at work, especially if you're somebody who is new in the industry or there's a career change, you want to move with people who are already ahead, people who know what they're doing. you want to have access to the person that can help you out. Because these people would influence your success in that area. And then when we are joking, we always say, follow no road, though, follow no road. Because we know how important that is. We know that the people around us can open doors or they can close them. So if you think about this in school, in church, in every other thing, why don't you think about it in life, in purpose? The same to finance. In fact, I think this one is the one that is very obvious because people want to follow the people that are rich, that have some form of financial stability. Because you know that those people, whether they are going to rub off on you, whether they are going to give you some money, or whether they are going to expose you to opportunities that will bring money, you just know that one way or the other, they're going to make your life better. So if you want to get it in life, if you're thinking about purpose, you know that you want to find the meaning of life, you want to be a valuable person in life, the people in your inner circle cannot be people that don't see a meaning to life. Honestly, because you have to keep on surrounding yourself with people that when you even say, what is even the meaning of life? What is the point of life? You can have that discussion. So you wouldn't want to be with people that if you say, what is the meaning of life? They will say, life has no meaning, no. Or they will say, I beg, no time for all those serious talk. Something like that. I mean, it's funny. Because it happens, right? Something like that. You would want it to be that when you start initiatives, you can look right and left and center. And from your inner circle, you know people that can champion these things with you. And, what fellowship does light have with darkness? Now, I'm not saying darkness, because some people, it's weird to refer to people as darkness, but okay. Let me use another example. What fellowship does oil have with water? I think that's a better example. They just would never mix. And if oil says, okay, I think I want to fry dodo right now, there's no way water is going to join it. And if water is very vocal, water will not be like, fried dodo, okay. I'm not doing that one, no. I'm so sorry I'm laughing because I feel like sometimes the examples I give are just very weird. But water will just be like, I'm not even in for that one. And then when it's time to drink, and then water is like, I'm coming, this person wants to drink, we should go. And the oil is like, drink, like they will drink me, God forbid, it's not me and you. So maybe when you guys met, you hit it off and then you guys had like the best discussion ever. But if you're not going the same direction, your fellowship is as good as nothing. And if your fellowship is as good as nothing, then your potential is as good as nothing. Because remember that your inner circle determines your potential. And you need to be very careful with the people you listen to. I was ruminating on Eve and the snake. I'm not saying that they were friends though, but one of the reasons why the snake was able to deceive Eve and Adam was because Eve could hear the snake. The snake was in close proximity enough to speak to Eve. If the snake was not in close proximity, it will only dream. It will probably just keep dreaming about how it's going to deceive Eve, how it's going to say this, but it just would never get to her. So, apart from the fact that you are thinking of your goals or your dreams or where you're headed, you're also thinking about the fact that if you get it wrong with your inner circle, you are exposing yourself to things that you're not even supposed to hear, places that you're not supposed to go, just because of your inner circle. So I'm going to repeat the law of the inner circle again. It says that a person's potential is determined by the people closest to them, as the quality of one's inner circle influences their success, effectiveness, then I added lifestyle and purpose. So if you know that you are a valuable person, you know you want to live a life of purpose, you have to surround yourself with people that want to equally live a life of purpose. You have to surround yourself with people who think about life and think about blessing others. If you're constantly around people that will say, no, Jerry, not everybody was made for a purpose. So, I want to just enjoy life and get the best of it. I mean, that is not bad, but you are on two different paths. And your potential as regards purpose would never be reached if that is who you have in your inner circle. I mean, if you want to do the same class activity we did, it will really benefit you, because when you think about who are in your inner circle, when you sit down and write 5 names, you are able to isolate your thoughts to one person. You think about this person, you're like, do you think we are going the same direction? Do you think this person can influence my potential for good? Just have those thoughts, because in the matter of purpose, it comes with a high level of intentionality. So again, what fellowship does light have to do with darkness? Or, like I corrected, what fellowship does oil have to do with water? If you are so meticulous in school and in work to follow the people that know road, then that means in the area of purpose, you need to also follow the people that know road and be very intentional about it. If you have listened to this point, please remember that you are a treasured light of the world. And that means your inner circle should contain treasured lights of the world, because God has great plans for you.